Right edition, hey!
Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day.
Happy day. That's kind of appropriate today because I want to talk a little bit about a man that was a music guy of sorts. Fred Astaire. He was a very famous dancer back in the 1930s and 40s and 50s and so on, but in particular in the 1930s, him and Ginger Rogers did 10 movies together, and what a couple to watch dance. I just watched one on television the other day. It was 1933, and it was called The Gay Divorcee. Different meanings back then, though, for sure. He was anything but gay. He was a ladies' man, and he was married 2 times. But what's really interesting about him is that he and Ginger Rogers and Bing Crosby, they founded the Hollywood Republican Committee. He was a lifelong conservative Republican and a supporter of American military action. Hey, who knew? Not me. There was supposed to be a concert the other day at the General Hospital in Toronto. This is from the Stupid Thief file? I don't know. Smart Thief file. Maybe they're singers too. Maybe they're dancers too. But at that event, 3 men came in and said, "We're piano tuners for your baby grand piano," which is worth close to $30,000. So they were there. They fooled with it for a while, and then they took it out to get parts rather than bringing the parts to them. And of course, a few hours went by, and the people said, "Where's the piano? We have a concert coming." And they were thieves, and they have the piano now. Who would have thunk that? There's a driver now that, this is bizarre. There's a guy that was driving his car. That's the driver, right? And this is in California. It could only happen in California. Valley Village is the name of the city, and he's 19 years old, the fella, and he crashed into a utility pole, and now he's been charged for manslaughter. I mean, what's up with all of that? When he hit the post, had been raining. There was water all over the ground, and some women came up to help him. And of course, when they stepped in the water, they were electrocuted and they died, and he got charged for manslaughter. Pretty weird stuff. 6 others were injured also. Oh boy, and the women, you know, they were would-be rescuers. I mean, sure, they had big hearts, and I really feel for them. What a tragic thing. I mean, 4,800 volts from the fallen power line, zzz, and of course they were dead. So it'll be interesting to see what happens now to him in court. Kind of sounds a little misguided. Now, Fremont. Here's inmates. Yeah, come on, inmates, those are the guys that go to jail. And now they're allowed to pay for their jail cell. So you get to upgrade where you're living for a while. You know, it's a minimum security, but kind of an interesting twist on free enterprise. Is it kind of sort of maybe? I mean, they're now being charged and paying upwards to $155 a night. And they say, hey, it's my option. I have the money. Maybe I stole the money. Maybe that's why I'm in there. But you get cable TV now, and you don't get a warm cookie in your bed, probably, or a chocolate, but you seem to get everything else. You have high definition internet and television, and you know, you're paying for a pretty nice facility. The government said, hey, we need more money. That sounds like a California thing too, doesn't it? The other day I did a story on McDonald's going into, I think it was in Vietnam, and the son-in-law of the president ran it. Here's another story. I'm kind of off that topic, but here's another McDonald's story. This particular one happened in California. And a woman, not a fella, a woman rode her horse up to the window and said, I want to order a hamburger. And they said, we don't serve people here. They should have looked at the horse and said, why the long face? But in any event, that happened. The woman was ticked, took her horse around to the door and rode inside McDonald's, and of course, while in there, the horse did its business on the floor, and the customers were quite taken back. I just share it with you. It's got not much to do with anything other than she now has been charged, and it wasn't a Big Mac that hit the floor. Now we have cremation estates now that entrepreneurs are putting together, and they started in California. It's all over the states now, and it's a big deal. Over 70% of people now are getting cremated. I'm not. Where I'm going, it's going to be hot enough, and I don't want to hurry up the process. In any event, speaking of hurrying, if I'm talking too fast, and you gotta listen slower, and I don't keep this pace very long, you can hit that button right down here on the player. It says CC, and if you hit it, some options come up, and you can actually get the scroll of what I say. Although I must say that if I talk too fast, it's the auctioneer in me, that sometimes the scroll doesn't interpret it correctly, but it's better than maybe nothing. Hey, you're listening faster now. Back to this. People are dying, and the cremator comes over and sees the people and to the live people, and said, we'll do the cremation, it's a fraction of the cost, and we'll bury him right in your backyard, or if not burying him, we'll put him into a bench, or we'll do something else with him, use him as an ornament. That's what we've always wanted to become, huh? I'm not a monarchist, I think the royalty's kind of nice, but it belongs in England. It's got nothing to do with America or Canada, and most people do agree with me. It's a big, expensive thing, but I must say, I think it's kind of sharp and cute lately to see about the new baby and everything. It's kind of refreshing. There's no talk of war, or ain't nobody getting shot or beat up or anything. It's all about a new baby, so it's a nice thing, and you gotta like it, right? Okay, I'm going to end today with a story. Okay, if you're not depressed, I'm sorry. I didn't do my job correctly. I'll come back tomorrow and we'll work on that from the political right, because the left is out to get us and we got to fight back. But hey, back to the story. There's a man and his wife. They checked into a hotel and they're having a real bad argument, fighting like cats and dogs. So he got on the phone and he phoned down. He said, my wife is trying to commit suicide and the window won't open. And she said at the front desk, that's a personal matter, got nothing to do with the hotel. And he said, like heck, he says, the window's stuck, get it unstuck. She's trying to commit suicide, make it work, it's a maintenance problem. Y'all come back tomorrow, we're gonna have more for you from the right. See ya.